Hi all, welcome to Guide Coaching Classes. My name is Mozam Ali and today we are going to learn about the primary key and foreign key. But before that, we will revise what we have learned into our previous session, and I hope you are doing your practices. So we have learned into our previous session what is advanced functions in SQL. So we have seen that there are multiple advanced functions which are available, such as current user, then we have user session user, then we have property session property, then we have system user, then we have username. So these all five functions are used to identify what user we are using into the database to manage and to manipulate the database. Okay, so these are nothing but to identify the user which is being used into the database. Then we have seen about the is null function. So in is null function, what it does, it takes a expression and it takes a value. So it checks whether that particular value is null or not. If it is null, it will print the value, and if the expression is not null, it will print that particular expression. Then we have learned about the callsec. So callsec is basically very simple function which is used as a advanced function. So what it does is it actually takes n number of values or n number of columns, and then it identify that what value is not null according to that particular given sequence, and it will print the first number which is not null into the system, into the sequence. So that is why we use callsec function. Then the other important function which comes in as a advanced function, that is null if. So what it does, it takes two expressions. So I have taken example of integer and character, that is 25 25. So if we give the values as 25 comma 25, these are the two expressions and they are equal. So it will print me a null value. And if I put a 25 comma 55, that is these two values are not equal, so it will print me the first value, that is 25. That is how the null if function is used. Okay, then we have seen about the other function which is the convert. So convert and cast basically used to typecast or to change the data type of the particular column or particular value. So if you see, I have taken an example of int comma 25.65. So when I put this expression as a function, I will be able to see that my conversion of that particular value from float to integer is done. Similarly is used for the cast as well. So we can do the typecasting, or we can change the data type of that particular column or that particular value. Then we have seen if. So if with I extra, we take three conditions. First is the condition, then the second is value if true, and the third is value if false. So we have a condition, if x is greater than y, then either print yes or no. It gives us the boolean results such as true or false, 0 or 1, yes or no. Okay, so if I give a value as 1000 is greater than 1, 1000 is greater than 1, which is not, so it will print me a false value. And if I give an expression as 1 is greater than 100, or 100 is less 100 is greater than, or 100 is greater than 1000, or 100 is greater than 1. So 100 is greater than, basically 100 is greater than 1, that is a true condition, so it will print me a true value. So that's all about the advanced functions. Now we will go about our next topic. But before that, I think one more function is left, that is numeric. So it directly simply take the expression, it take the value, and if we are giving the value as numbers or characters, on the basis of that it gives us a boolean value, that is true false, 0 1 or yes no. Okay, that type of result it gives us. So if we give is numeric and we give 10 as a value, then it will print 1. And if we give is numeric function and then we write as it double into single quote sample, then it will print me a 0 value, that is no. So that's all about the previous topics which we have covered so far. I hope you are doing practice and you are learning new things about from this tutorials. Now we will see about what is our current today's topic, that is what is primary key and what is foreign key. So in our earlier topics we have seen about the primary key and the key importance of the primary key. So the primary key is may plays a major role where when we are creating any table. uh, it has certain conditions and parameters. So the first condition is whenever you are creating a table, you can have a primary key onto a column. Okay, such as I have kept a green column over here. So if you see, that is the column where I have implemented the primary key. The two conditions again with the primary key is, the first condition is it cannot take a null value and the value cannot be duplicate. Okay, so that is the two parameters and two basic conditions of primary key. So it won't take a duplicate value or it won't take a null. Okay, then the third condition, which is again more important, that makes it unique and makes it highly usable or reusable into any database relationship, that is, it is the single primary key you can use into a table. You cannot apply primary key to all the columns which are into the table. So as you can see on the screen right here, I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 or 6 columns over there, but I have applied primary key only to ID, not on the first name, last name, age, city or salary. I cannot do that. If I do, compiler will give me an error that you cannot apply multiple primary key to a single table. That is the condition which you need to keep in mind whenever you are asked about primary key. You should be able to explain these scenarios and these conditions, that why it is not allowed to use the primary key for multiple columns into a single table. Then you can create a combination of two columns, but you can declare primary key only once. That we will see again later, but for now please keep in mind that you cannot apply primary key to all the columns or to more than one columns. Then you cannot have a duplicate value into a column which is being defined as a primary key. You cannot have a null value into it. And so that these are the basic conditions which needs to be considered while we are creating the primary key. Okay, then we have this that relationship between primary key and foreign key. So now if you can see, I have created two tables over here. The first one is employee table and the second one is my department table. So now the primary key and foreign key are related with each other. Primary key is the parent and foreign key is the child. Now what is foreign key, we'll see it, but first of all understand the concept. So I have created a table as employee, that is, and where I have kept id as a primary key. Then I have created a department table where I have created did, that is department id, and eid, that is employee id. So that eid is coming from the employee table. I am matching that conditions over here as well. So here the foreign key can be applied and it will be called as a child, child table. It will be applied into the table which is called as a child table. Okay, so understand this. I have four records into employee table: 101, 102, 103, 104. Then again I have those same type of ids into department: 101, 102, 103, 104. I cannot break the chain. So basically this linking of the two table is done on the basis of primary key and foreign key. So foreign key follows the primary key like this is the chain which is happening between these two tables, because I cannot keep the whole data into one table. I cannot keep the employee table with department and department id and department name and manager. This will be repetitive information which I am going to be stored. So I don't want to do that. So what I will do, I will create another table for department, I will create another table for employee, but I will make a linking of between them, so that none of my information is repeated and all the data is segregated and into a well organized way. So that is the first requirement, that you cannot break the link, or you cannot break the prototype or data type of that particular column where the employee where the primary key is applied, and you need to follow the same into the foreign key or into the table where the foreign key is defined. So that is the concept which you need to understand, because this is very important topic. I want you guys to understand it thoroughly, so that I have created this UI and presentation, so that it will be very easy for you to understand, because most of the answer or most of the topics from going forward we will be discussing about joins, inner join, intersect, minus. All those topics are going to be based on this relationship between parent and child, primary and foreign keys. So please understand this topic thoroughly. Okay, then we will see about how the foreign key works. So here on my right side you can see I have parent table and child table. Okay, here the referential integrity is happening. Okay, where I have a table, column 1, column 2, then I have a child table. I'll call as a child table because it is having the reference key. Okay, it is having the foreign key. So foreign key is coming from the parent table, which is column 1, and you can see the key sign, so that is primary key, so it is taking from their value. Okay, I cannot break the chain, as I mentioned. I cannot insert any data into that particular column. As you can see, if I am trying to do that, it says error, I cannot allow this to enter. G is not column 1 of parent table, so I cannot enter any value into my reference table. I'm sorry, my internet, my Wi-Fi, or my camera is not working properly. Bear me with that, but please focus on my voice and what I'm trying to explain you. Please understand and focus on that only. Okay, so that is how the referential integrity works. We have two tables. We need to have the same data for that particular column only. I'm not talking about the whole data to be replicated or duplicated. I'm just talking about that particular columns. All the values will be here only. If it is not, it should not add, or it should not have something else. It could be possible that you don't have certain values, but it should not be like you are having the other information other than the parent table, considering, because consider a scenario where you acquire certain properties which are coming from your parents. Okay, you can have your own properties, but you also have the property which is coming from your parent. You cannot deny your properties, or you cannot deny your DNA or your genes from which are coming from the parent. So that is the relationship between parent and child. So we have parent table and child table. Parent table is the table which has the primary key, and child table is the table which has the foreign key. Okay, now this is the first, which is known as referential key integrity. Okay, now here take an example. I have created a table as course. Okay, this is my parent table. It has two columns. The first one is course ID and the second one is course name. Okay, and I have kept course ID as a primary key over here. PK is nothing but the primary key. It is okay, it is not the Amir Khan's movie. So now it is not null and it is of integer type. That is how my first table which I have created, it is my parent table. Now what I will do is I will create a new table. I will right click on it, new, then I will go to tables, and then I will create a relationship. I'm creating another table that is with column ID. If you can see the names, I have two columns. The first one is again column ID. I can give any name to that particular column, by the way, but I cannot change the values. It should be the same. Okay, values should be same from the parent table. Either it will be same, or it may not have it, may not be there. Okay, that is the condition. So I have created two columns. The first one is customer ID, and the second one is customer strength. This is the another table which I am creating. I am creating a relationship as well. With whom? With the parent table. This is my child table. Okay, so this is the foreign key relationship which I am creating. So here if you see, I have a foreign key relationship. I am adding it over here. This is my fk table 1, table 1, then tables and columns specs. So now I am expecting it with these three dots. So now once I do that, I can see I have table 1 and new table. Okay, so if you see here, this is my primary key. So I have a course table which I created as a parent table. So course table is selected for table 1 having primary key. New table is selected for the table having foreign key. This is my new table. This is my new table. Okay, now see here, this is my course id from the course table. Okay, column from course table is primary key. Now this course id column new table in foreign key, that is my new table. So I am creating another table. Let's say course strength. Okay, so course strength is my new table. I am creating a relationship between this course id and the course id which has been declared into the course table. Okay, so that is how I am creating the relationship. Now if you see here, I have course id and course strength. Okay, so now I am adding this foreign key, and you can see over here I have columns into course, that is course and course name. Now I have created the parent table and the child table. Okay, so see this dbo dot course, and here I have columns. Okay, column course id and then course name, and here I have another table, that is dbo dot course underscore strength, and I have course id and course strength. Okay, these two are related, so existing parent table course. Okay, now I will explain you about how the working is done over there. Okay, so I hope to you don't have any questions till now. I have something to demo you practically. So I have created this one, which I have created the video of. So this is my course table, and this is the values which I have into the course table. Then I have course strength table where I have course id and course strength as a value. So this is my, I have created this table with primary key. Okay, so we have learned about the primary key. So if I try to primary key, I won't be allowed. See, cannot add multiple primary key constraint table to course. You cannot add multiple primary key. That is the one condition which I have explained you. Okay, now we know about the primary key. I don't want to repeat the conditions. Then I have created this another table with how we declare it, constraint fk. That is how we declare the constraint. So here we have written foreign key, and then here I have written the course id. This course id is nothing but the this course id. Okay, it has nothing to do with this table's course id yet, but when I create a references, so this course id belongs to this course table, which is this one. It won't allow me because this table is already exists, so it won't allow me to create. But you can see here, this course id is coming from this course id, and this course id can be anything. I can write it like this as well, coid. It will accept it. coid, it will accept it. But if I try to write it like this, it won't find that this id over here, so it will give me an error. It will give me the foreign key fk reference invalid column COU in reference table, that is course. That is how the reference key is created. Okay, and the other thing which I was telling about, we can add multiple columns to primary key. So this is the way we can create the primary key as well. So here we will write constraint fk or pk, then we will write primary key, then we will add this column, then we will add another column such as course. Okay, so we can add multiple columns over there. That is how it is being done. Then if I execute this, I have added this record. So what I will do, I will simply go and add a new record and I will show you guys. I have added this record. So now if you see, I have added two records into the course table. Okay, now if you see my this table, that is course strength, it has only one record, that is 101. So if I try to enter this null value, now see, null value is not into the parent table, but if I try to add this null value, I won't be allowed. See what it gives is, cannot insert the value null into column course id. Table master.dbo course strength column does not allow null insert. The statement has been terminated. Why? Because this table, this my parent does not have null value, so I cannot have null value, and I cannot add null value over here because primary key does not allow null value, as I mentioned earlier. So now if I try to enter something which is not in my parent table, if I try to do that, I won't be allowed. You cannot enter what is not into the parent table. That is the best example which I can take for you to understand this concept. Why I'm repeating this again and again, I want you to hamper these things into your mind so that you are aware about what foreign key does and what primary key do, so that you are aware about this concept. And once you are aware about these two concept and you are familiar with these two concepts, you can create a table, you can create a relationship, you can add joins, you can add intersect, unions and minus, you can apply anything. So if I try to add this one, now this, consider this condition right here. I have two values and I am I here I have only one value. So if I add this 102 as more student or less students, I will be allowed. I'm allowed to add this because I'm not breaking the linking, that is 102. If I try to add 103, as I mentioned, I won't be allowed. But if I add this, if I add this over here, data, if I add this and then I try to add this, I will be able to do that. That is how the primary key and foreign key are used into parent table and child table. I hope this concept is very clear. If you have any questions or any doubts or any difficulties about these, two topics, you can, write me a comment. I will try to answer it as early as possible. And into our next session, we will be focusing about what joins is and how it works. That's all for today. Thank you so much, guys.